So today we're going to talk about long division, review some of the stuff that you've done before, and just make sure that everyone's on the same page about how to do long division as we go forward with math this year. There's a few steps that we go through when we do a long division problem like this, and they get much more difficult than this, but we start off with one with fewer digits just to get us started. The first thing we're going to do is divide. So I'm going to put that right here, divide. All right, so what I'm going to do is divide into the first number that 4 will go into. So I'm going to look at these numbers here. I have a 5 as our first digit. Does 4 go into 5? Yeah, it does. 4 goes into 5 one time. So I'm going to put a 1 right there. All right, now I've done the division step. The next thing that I need to do after I've divided is I need to multiply. Put that here. So we divide, then we multiply. And I'm going to multiply as the 1 that I put up here. So I went 1 time. So 1 times that 4. So I'm going to multiply the 1 that I put up top times what I divided by. 1 times 4. I'm going to do that. 1 times 4 is 4. I'm going to put that right underneath the 5 that I divided into. And then the next thing we do is we subtract. Can't type today apparently. All right, so let me put that over here. So we got divide, we multiply, we subtract. Don't know why they're staggered, but that's okay. We'll just keep staggering them over there. All right, I'm going to subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. And then most of you guys probably could tell me what comes next. We bring down. So let's just keep doing the staggered thing. I don't know why I started that, but there you go. That looks kind of cool, right? Or not, that doesn't matter. I'm going to bring down this 2 right here. So let's bring down that 2. And I'm going to put it right next to the 1. So that's a 12. I know it's kind of hard to see. I need a stylus. I've said that before, but yeah, say it again. All right, and then once we're done with that, we go right back up to the top until there's nothing left to bring down, nothing left, and we have nothing, we just have a remainder at the end. So now I'm going to go 4 into 12. 4 goes into 12 3 times. And then once again, we go to multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. And then we go to subtract. 12 minus 12 is 0. And then we bring down. And I know there's just a 0 up top, but we still have to bring that 0 down and rewrite it. Now, as long as I brought down a number, I always have to go back up to the division step. Switch colors here. I always have to go back up here and start over. It's a little simpler this time because I'm just going into 0. But 4 goes into 0. Well, the only thing times 4 that makes 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. Then if I multiply, I get 0. And technically, you wouldn't have to do all this, but I'm just going through the steps. If we subtract, we get 0. And there's nothing left to bring down. There's a 0 at the bottom. So our answer is 130. 130 is the quotient. Now we have a new problem. This time I have a 2-digit divisor. So I'm taking 12 into 624. So let's go ahead and get started and see if we can figure out how to do it with 2 digits. It's the same process though. We start off by dividing. Now if I look here, 12 does not go into 6. Right? Let me redo that. It's 12 times 1 is more than 6. So what I'm going to have to do is take 12 into 62. Some people will put a little X above the 6 to keep track of it if you want to. That's kind of up to you. But what I'm going to do is divide 12 into 62. Erasing too much. And if you don't know 12 times what equals 62, one thing I'll start with is I'll say, well, how many times does 1 go into 6? And sometimes that'll give you, it's funny, that doesn't always get you there, but sometimes that'll give a good place to start. I'll just take the first 2 digits of each. 1 times 6 is 6. So what I'm going to try to do is 12 times 6 first and see if that gets me close to 62. Now, you might already know how many times 12 goes into 62 and not have to do this, and that's fine. But let's say we didn't. This is the way that we'd want to look at it, or a possible way to look at it. All right, so 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 makes 7. So I'm a little too big, but I'm pretty close. So I'm just going to go down to 5. And 12 times 5 would be, let's see, 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 makes 6. So there we go. So starting with 6, using what I just talked about, taking the first digit into the first digit, it got me really close. I was 1 over. It ended up being 5. So I've divided. It goes 5 times into 62. Notice I put the 5 above the 2. Since I was dividing into 62, I put it above the last digit that I was dividing into. All right, now we're going to multiply. Once again, we're multiplying 5 by that 12. 5 times 12 is 60. We've already done that. We did that right here. And then we subtract. 62 minus 60 is 2. And then we finish out this part by bringing down the 4. Remember, once we're done with that, we have to go back up to the top. As long as we bring something down, we have to go back up to the top and continue dividing. Let's divide again. 12 goes into 24 2 times. And I'm going to go back through that sequence. I've divided, now I multiply. 2 times 12 is 24. Gosh, I'm sorry, that's hard to read. See, 24. Then I subtract, I get 0. And there's nothing left to bring down. I'm left with 0 right here as a remainder. There's no remainder. And so I'm done. The quotient of 624 divided by 12 is 52. All right, we're going to do one more example, and we'll get you guys to practicing. Just one more thing we want to talk about, one more situation. So this is going to be one that's going to end with a remainder. Before we even start, we'll talk about that. And we're going to talk about the 2 things you could do. Well, there's technically 3 things you could do with a remainder. We're going to talk about those 3 things. Let's go ahead and do the division first. Let's say we're going to start with dividing. So 5 goes into 6 one time. For some reason, it's not wanting to show up. Let me see if I can. I forgot to switch to freehand after drawing the division symbol. Okay, so one time. All right, and then after we divide, we go to multiplying. So 5 times 1 is 5. Then we go to subtracting. 6 minus 5 is 1. And then we bring down. I'm going to bring down this 2. I'm drawing the arrow so you can kind of see what we're doing. I've seen students who draw the arrow when they're bringing something down to show it, and students who don't. They just bring it down and they just write the 2. I'm fine with either way. I'm only drawing the arrow so that you can see what I'm doing. All right, let's keep going. Now we're going to go back up to the top and we're going to divide again. So 5, this time we're going to divide 5, this number, into 12, to that number. Let me undo what I just put so it's not there later. So 5 goes into 12 2 times. I'm going to put it above the 2 because that's the number I brought down. Then once again, we multiply. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract. 12 minus 10 is 2. And then bring down again. This time we're bringing down a 3. It's hard to line them up and keep everything nice and straight on this computer screen. It'll be easier on your paper. But the more you can keep things straight and stuff, the more likely you'll be to be very accurate with your work. So just, neatness really does matter when you're doing division. It's a little sloppy here because I'm trying to write on the screen, so I apologize. All right, now we're going to go back up to, since we brought down, we're going to back up to dividing. 5 goes into 23 this time, so we're taking the 5 into the 23. Oh, my bad. I think I just erased something. No, I didn't. Okay. 5 goes into 23 4 times. Then I multiply. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract. 23 minus 20 is 3. And then I bring down my last number. I'm going to bring down that 4. This 4 right here comes straight down. And then we divide again. Let me pause it and increase my space. There we go. I don't want to jumble it up at the bottom and confuse you guys. So 5 goes into 34. Let's see, 6 times. And then we multiply. 5 times 6 is 30. Subtract. And there's nothing to bring down. So we have a remainder of 4. So the different ways that you can handle this kind of situation, and you probably learned this, is probably review. One way that's legitimately works at times is to just leave a remainder. Like to leave your answer 1,246, remainder 4. That's generally more of the elementary school way to do it. It's probably the way you did it in 3rd, 4th. I don't know exactly when you started this. Probably 4th grade, right? Something like that. That's generally the way that they're going to do it there, it seems. Middle school, we generally expect you to work it out a little more. I'm going to show you how to do that, but that's still appropriate at times, even in middle school. Like sometimes you'll have a word problem, and you're actually talking about how many cookies each person gets. And you don't want to split them up at the end. You don't want to have part of a cookie for each person. And so you say, all right, everyone gets this many cookies, and we have this many left over. And that's a remainder. So there are certain types of problems where it's completely fine to have a remainder, but most of the time in middle school, we're not going to use remainders anymore. We're going to work it out either to a fractional part or to a decimal. So let's talk about both of those. First, let's do the fraction. I'm going to do that right to the side here. So if we wanted to work it out to a fraction, I would take the quotient so far, that's this number, 1,246. And then you take your remainder, this 4, that's the top of your fraction. So the quotient's your whole number. The whole thing's the quotient, but the part at the top's your whole number. Your remainder is your numerator, so 4. And then the divisor, the number you divided by, is your denominator. So the fractional form of that remainder would be 1,246 and then 4/5. So once again, we just took our remainder and put it on top of the number we divided by. It's something to remember, but you notice hopefully it didn't actually make the work any more difficult. I just took the remainder that we would have put R4 with and put it on top of 5 instead. It's what you do when you convert improper fractions to mixed numbers. It's the exact same process. All right, let's talk about the decimal way too, because I want you to see that. I'm going to change to red just so you can see a contrast in my work. So anytime that you have a problem like this where there's a remainder, another option is to add a decimal at the end of the number and add a 0. Because decimal 0 doesn't actually change the value of a number. It's point nothing. There's not a decimal part. We're just adding a decimal 0. But what it does is it gives you another number to bring down so that you can continue dividing. So I'm going to bring my decimal straight up, right to there, next to the 6, and I'll bring that 0 down. And now I can start back at the top and divide again. And it actually works out perfectly here. I do 5 into 40. It goes 8 times. We can multiply, but 8 times 5 is 40. I'm out of room at the bottom, but that would not leave, there would be nothing left at that point. Let me go ahead and show you. Sorry about that. 8 times 5 is 40, and that leaves 0. I'm out of room here, but that leaves us with 0. So that would be the decimal form of the answer. So 1,246.8, or 8/10. So both of these are different forms of the same answer, and it's the exact same thing as 1,246 remainder 4. I know that was a lot, but now we're going to practice it and hopefully get really good at it because long division is important, even if it is kind of a lot of different steps involved.